How do we mute? Is it to speak of something?
You can hit that my mute button. It should allow you to
Mute button. It's not showing.
mute. Yeah.
Audio settings. You see. Mute.
Mhm.
Microphone. Running.
Okay. You can see my
Yes.
my presentation. Is it showing as a raw thing, or it's showing with these other things on the side?
No, you can see the screen.
Okay. Yeah. There. I'm learning to using this this software. I'm so used to using a Microsoft
Meetings.
Teams. Yeah. So before we start, I would encourage everyone to mute unless you are talking. If you are speaking, then you unmute yourself, but so that we don't really have a lot of feedback as we continue to discuss. So today we are focusing on advanced prompt engineering and ChatGPT, which is a little bit and the next stage from just prompting, like what we learned last week. Normally, we are using most of these AI tools way below or without understanding. As we learned last week, there's an anatomy I think we talked about. You need to tell AI the role it is playing. You also want to tell AI what you want to be accomplished. That's the task. And then you want to give context. You want to say, this is the context. That limits the, it gives AI where to go, what to look for. Because remember, AI is a model, and the less constrained, the less specific you are, the wider you give it the spectrum to guess. As I said in our previous discussion, AI is basically guessing what is the next. What are you trying to accomplish? For example, if you type a word T, it may say, "Oh, you want to say to," or "You want to say the." What are you really trying to accomplish there? So it gives you this spectrum. But so when you use constraints, you force it to be very specific to the information you are looking for. So, and the next thing is you want to tell it how you want the format. Last week, I also, for context, like I was saying, if I'm studying a Bible verse, I specifically have to say, oh, use the King James Version, or use the Standard Version, or use the International version. Otherwise, it will choose on its own. You've given it free will. It will pick up any version and use it. And but if you narrow it, it will help you to get the most specific information. Okay. Oh, here. I'm trying to move my thing. Is not working. Give me a second. Stop sharing. You know, when you're working on something, it works fine. The moment you start putting on, it starts giving you problems. Okay. So the shift, what is the shift? The shift, we are really taking people from using AI as Google to where AI, you use it not as a tool, but you use it as leverage to multiply, to help you do most of the things you would need to do, to think, or to generate, or to analyze, or to research something. The same AI will produce radically different outcomes depending on how you are prompting it. So if you're going to learn anything about AI, you better learn how to prompt. And what I'm going to do is, after this few sessions, I'll restart another group, which for those people who are interested to come again into that group, and we go back to do basic prompting and then advanced prompting, and the next phases, which are going to talk about next week. So AI will help you leverage, multiplier, or speed. For example, if I'm going to plan a project, if I really put it prompt properly, AI will basically do it in 10 minutes. While if you're going to sit down and do the plan, it could take you a week or two, but you can do it in 10 minutes. That's what we mean. It is a leverage multiplier. It multiplies your effort, and you save a lot of time. So the real divide is, there are two types of users here. People who are just going into the application, into an AI tool, and say, ask questions and hope for good answers. No, that doesn't work. It's not going to give you output. You're basically consuming output, and results are inconsistent. So today we are going to learn about how to make your output consistent. So from asking questions, we want to learn to command the system. And while we are not really writing programs, we are developing, designing small systems. So even though you are not a programmer, if you start using the anatomy we learned last week, where you say the raw, the chart, the context, blah, 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 it gives you quality information. And now we can grow from just asking questions to commanding system. You design the outcomes, you control the quality, and you multiply time and clarity. That's the awesome thing about AI. It's so well, it's going to change the way we see things, the way we do things. If you don't learn this one, you'll be left behind. That's why I'm going to do it a few times, so that we catch up people who want to learn more. And I think as we continue to use it, we'll start getting issues and get questions which you want to ask and learn more. So prompting is not typing. Prompting is a thinking discipline. If you don't structure your prompt wisely or clearly, you get garbage. And some people will say, oh, this thing is not working. But in reality, it is working. Precision beats volume. Make sure you are razor sharp. You can't think implicitly. It will give you general information. Be explicit in everything you do when you want to accomplish anything using AI. Design beats hope. Don't hope things will work out. Be very specific. When I started programming a gazillion years ago, one of my teachers, which I still remember, was one of the best teacher. He said the first thing he asked us was write a program. You have not learned anything about programming. He said write a a a a program about you coming from home into coming from home to school that day. So we went up, we write, I get out of the house, I walk to the bus station, I dropped off, I walked to school, I came to class, I sat down. That's not programming. What we learned is how many steps did you get? You got out of you were eating breakfast, you got out of the house. Which door did you use? The kitchen, the front door? How many steps to the gate did you open? Was it open? And how many? Which way did you turned right, or you went left, or you went straight? You have to be very detailed because it's not a person who can think. You have to lead it, and you lead it basically by using advanced prompting, by building systems which will define and make AI to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Any questions? Okay. So the core truth is AI is this, but the results which are going to bring out are going to be dependent on your prompt. Why? Prompts are system design. You are saying, okay, let's say I want to do a project plan. I can't, if I say, do create a project plan for me, it will prepare for you a project plan which doesn't make any sense. So they are basically temporal operating systems, meaning when you get into that chart to put in your prompt, you are building a temporal operating system to tell AI the things which it should be looking for, what to expect, your expectations, how accurate. I'm sorry, let me try to admit someone who is coming in. My bad. I have to learn how to share here without interrupting. Okay. So we need to learn to create temporal operating system. So when you're in that context of building your chart or your question or your expectation, it's a temporal. Think about it as a temporal operating system, a thinking framework, and the outcomes and mechanisms are controlled. You control the outcome building mechanism to produce results. The thing is, the moment you do it often enough, it becomes automatic. So what I would encourage people is to make sure we practice, we use it. Make sure at least in a day you are using AI an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, and you'll be able to create these frameworks and produce very good results. Why most prompts fail? When you don't design the system, the model is forced to guess. It will guess what should I be doing? Who should be? What matters most to the what do you how do you define success at the end of the day? If you have the results, how do you find that it has been successful? So what matters most is you need to make sure you are forcing it to produce exactly what you want. If you don't, AI is going to get, and it will give you weak output or below expectation. It's very simple if you just learn what we are doing. I share these PowerPoints after we finish so that everyone can go in and play around with AI and see, compare and look at how the results are different if you do it the right way and you do it like checking with Google, querying. Okay, so elite prompt architect. Every elite prompt defines the role. I think this is repetition. The objective, what do you want to accomplish? The context, the constraints, which are the guardrail, how you want AI to operate, and output, what kind of output do you expect? Mm. I hear someone is coming in. How do I add? Are you able to admit people?
No, I'm not even seeing any when they are coming.
Okay. Okay, let me do what I did the last time.
Do you need to stop sharing to admit someone?
I'm not sure. I thought it would be simple. They will automatically come in, but I guess I need to define that. But anyway, when meets one and the quality drops, if you just miss one of these pieces in your prompt, the quality goes down. So today, this is now really defining advanced prompting when you
You're not
stack the.
sharing.
I'm not sharing. I'm sorry. My apologies. Okay, so basically, when we move into advanced prompting, this is one of the things you need to do. Is called raw stacking, meaning instead of just telling AI you are this expert, you want to tell AI, I want you to be this expert, and I want you to be critical, and I want you to operate like this. That's called the raw stacking. So you're forcing it to take, if you just ask AI, it tends to give you, it's always nice to you. It's never critical about information coming. It's always nice and polite and very good. But you want it to be critical to some of the things, the way you're thinking, the way the information is coming, and never accept the first draft or the first information which comes. Ask it, continue to ask and query and probe it so that eventually you get a good result. So here is a prompt. You are operating in 3 roles: senior industry expert, skeptical reviewer, and practical operator. And then you define here your objective, and you put in your objective here. And then you give it rules. These are now the context and the constraints. Challenge weak assumption. Ask clarifying question. End with an execution checklist. You get this thing and you put it in your chart before you even start anything, and then it will bring you quality results. The next thing is multi-step reasoning. Don't ask for answers. Design a thinking path. One of the default values of AI is speed. It just want to go through and give you the result. But the key in advanced prompting is to slow it down. Make it go a little bit slower. If you are using ChatGPT, sometimes it says, I am thinking slowly, or it has got models, different models, which say I'm thinking, and it tells you how much time it is taking to do your thing, a few 30 or so seconds, and then it brings the result. It helps you get better result. Make it to think slowly, and you do that by designing a thinking path. Don't just ask a few questions. So deep logic, like I was giving an example of my first programming lesson, write a program from home to school. I wrote 3 sentences. My teacher expected me to be so detailed. Why? I thought on the way, am I going to use an Uber, or am I going to use drive, or am I going to use the train? Those decisions, most of us, we skip, and then we get bad results. But this is a computer. It only understands logic and decision making and paths to say, okay, I've got options of going to school. I can use this other road. I can use this other road. If you really want to get good results, that's on deep logic, and it help it have less hallucination. Hallucination is basically a reflection of your prompting. At the moment, most of these models are trying by all means to remove hallucination and anticipate a lot of things. What you're trying to do, but we can help ourselves by writing or creating or designing thinking paths. I hope people are getting me. My goal is to make sure we get. So a thinking path will be like this. This is a prompt which you can use when you get this when you get this PowerPoint. I'll send it at the end of our meeting. Identify the core problem. List the 3 solution paths. Evaluate trade-offs. Select the best option and deliver final recommendation. So it will give you all these, and it may ask you a question to say, okay, I've chosen these 3 options. Which one do you really want to pursue? Then you say, oh, I want B. And then when it says when you choose B, it now goes deeper into that path of that option. So it will help you do. This is the text of a prompt you should be able to be putting in your prompt and get good results. Okay. Okay, and the other one is output-driven prompting. It means you think of the outcome. The Bible says God thinks he plans the end from the beginning. By the time he thinks, he knows how the outcome is going to be. So when we are designing our prompts, we should have the end in mind to say, where am I going to, what do I want to accomplish? And then you help to prompt enough details to produce the outcome you expect. So you are working backwards. Where am I ending, and how do I get now from the beginning? I want to drive to that outcome. So structure in your mind what result you want to accomplish, and then go back now to the beginning and design the prompts which will give you the outcome. I hope I'm clear here. So a prompt, you could say, final output must include executive summary, a clear framework, action steps, common mistakes. Now generate the content to fit this exactly. Okay. I got someone who I need to admit. Okay. Constraint-based outcome prompting, constraint increase quality. Your quality is really dependent on 2 things: the constraint and the context. So try to tell, I need so many words. For example, you are writing a book. Next week we are going to be we're going to be practical. Mostly it will be practical. Go into there and generate a book. Write a whole book in the meeting. I us to be able to follow through and to say, I want to write a book, and you write it in a few minutes or in a depending on the quality you want. But to try to give you a platform on how to write a book, to be practical on that writing aspect of our roadmap. Use less jargon. Sometimes words mean something. Give me a second. Someone is trying to get in. For some reason, I'm failing to share without shutting down. Okay. You need to clarify who is the audience. If I'm writing a book, who is the or who am I targeting? Who are the people who are going to read this book? So constraints help you develop sharper thinking and focus. Don't just ask ChatGPT. Think through the process and you'll get better results. Okay, this is the constraints, maximum 300 words, no buzzwords, concrete example only. Assume intelligent beginner. That's your target. AI can be very wild, and you control it by telling it, I want concrete examples. I mean, like I was saying last week, a lawyer ChatGPT a case, and then he found out the case it was quoting never existed. And he was so embarrassed here in Alabama just last year. So you need to say, I want, and supporting information. If it's caught it, and then you go and review it. AI is not going to just do it and do it for you, and you just push it across. You have to review, read it, and make sure it is giving you the correct. But the major problem is not about AI. It's about your prompting. The prompting is the culprit. Okay. Prompt chaining. Elite users don't accept the first draft one. You iterate, you come back, refine your prompt, sharpen it until you get the best quality. That's the key. Refinement loop. This is draft one. Improve clarity, structure. This is now the text, and depth without increasing length. Then ask if draft 3 is needed. So you're communicating. This is something after AI has given you a draft, you come back and say, hey, AI, improve this. I want it better. The areas you want it to focus on, you push it. You push it to the limit. This is AI. So it's not like a human being who say, I'm tired of your question. You know, it will answer, it will give you, it will come up with it. Just be specific and drive it to its maximum. And you do that by looping, refining until it gives you a quality enough to go and make a presentation without you having to work your tail off. The other way you want to do is failure proofing prompts. That's what I said in the beginning, raw stacking, critical, asking to be the expert, the critic and the operator. If I'm doing a presentation, a budget presentation, I must be able to justify it. Why am I thinking we need more in this budget than what we did last year? Why do you think we need to cut in this area than this? It must be able to give you a reasoned outcome rather than just giving you outcomes. So don't fight hallucination. Design against it. You have to design to make sure hallucination don't come. If you put in general statements, you get general information, and which may not be useful to you. So let's say we put in this plan. Let me try to do it in ChatGPT, and I can you see my ChatGPT?
No.
No.
No. I thought I shared the window. Oh, sorry, I shared the window instead of the screen. So if I put this plan and say, help me write a plan. So it says, I mean, I need a few sharp inputs from you so I can tailor it to your exact venture and write it as an investor, board, executive level. So this one gave you at least some guidance on exactly, this is too shallow, you're not serious. What is the name? What exactly are you selling? Who is the target? Idea, early operating, scaling. What do you already have customer revenue? It's asking you all these questions. This is how much information, and it says once you answer, I'll produce a complete professional investor grade business plan with all these pieces. These are things you should have given it already in your prompt. Okay. So elite prompters, people who are prompting, they put all these pieces. They have the raw, and in raw we also went into stacking, raw stacking, where you make it to take different roles in the same prompt, a clear objective, constraints, guardrails, and output structure. Okay, this will start giving you quality, high-level results. So we'll move on to, we are transitioning now to setting up ChatGPT. Before we move on, are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
While talking about prompt engineering, it seems you have talked much about ChatGPT. Is it like the best AI tool that you consider?
No, not exactly. I mean, the assumption in this group is most of our people are going to be new to AI, and there are many tools out there. And I think I'll create something on you find that there are many models. The major models are ChatGPT, obviously, Google Gemini, and Claude, CLAUDE, from Anthropic. And they are good in certain aspects of them. So a ChatGPT OpenAI is almost like the default starting platform. Before you start venturing into these other models, you need to know and to learn how to do it in ChatGPT, and you can apply this thing across any other platform or tool. Okay.
Okay.
Any other question? I hope it means I'm clear. Okay. Why ChatGPT setup matters? Default, when you create an account in most of these platforms, AI platform, they've got default setups, and basically, let me admit someone again. I'm behaving like an untrained person here. So when you defaulting, it's giving you a lot of general, but if you want to force it to be consistent and accurate, you have to do setups. Setup is basic programming. Those are some of the things they are thinking and forcing it to behave. Programming is really defining a path. The programming is defining how things should be. You are setting you are setting from default to how it should always behave. You are setting up default behavior for AI. How AI thinks, how it responds, and how much it challenges you. You want to program into it by going into setup. So we'll go in ChatGPT and try to go through basic setups. And one of the classes I'm going to talk about is the eventually down the line is cybersecurity for everyday people, so that we are safe online, even when you are putting in information into this model. You are protecting yourself. For example, in ChatGPT, if you just allowing it to do whatever it wants, it sucks all your information. Eventually, you don't know where your information will end up. There will be marketing, they will be doing all sorts of things. Your data is very important. So I've got a presentation. One group asked me to present on cybersecurity because there were elderly groups who were hacked a number of times, and they decided to say, how can we be safe online and how can we be safe using our technology, which we don't have a choice. So the key areas we are going to save: who are you? You want to tell a ChatGPT in this case, who are you, how it should respond, accurate expectation, how far, how much detail do you want to be covered. So you can basically say, I am a strategic thinker who values clarity, structure, practical execution. I use ChatGPT for learning, strategy, business, and systems. This is something you can add. And response, you can say, respond like a senior consultant, be structured, be direct, challenge weak thinking, ask clarifying questions, and avoid generic advice. Lock the model into an accurate contract, non-negotiable. You can put all these things in there. Don't hallucinate. Do not guess or hallucinate. If information is unclean, outdated, or unknown, explicitly say, I don't know, or this is uncertain. Distinguish clearly between facts, assumptions, and opinion. Ask clarifying questions when data is missing, cite sources and explain reasoning steps when making factual claims, prefer correctness over speed or completeness, confirm when these rules are active. This single stop prompt reduces hallucination dramatically. So set up handles, defaults, prompt, handle, context together, compounding leverage. Okay. Post EPSIC labels, facts versus assumption. Most errors happen because facts and assumptions are blended together. There's for it to get results, whatever results, it has to assume, and you want to minimize giving AI the option to assume about anything. You want to give it all the facts it needs so that the assumptions is very minimal and you get quality input or output rather. It forces intellectual honesty. Okay. So we have got about 10 minutes. They're just about four slides before I go in and show you. So you can also say if you want to refuse bluff, it can give you information. Add this rule when accuracy is critical. If you cannot verify something with high confidence, refuse to answer directly and explain what information is missing. This is how you stop polished nonsense. Sometimes it can show you some things like, oh my goodness, this is awesome information, but it's really polished nonsense. That's AI for you. Live exercise, add a role, add constraint, and define output. These are exercises you want to be doing on your own as I'm giving this PowerPoint at the end of our discussion. You can go through it. I'll also re-provide our last discussion, our recorded lesson from last week, so that those people who were not there can redo it. Okay. Build a raw tagged prompt, use the real problem you care about, you add that one. That's more of action, okay? Key takeaways. Prompting is equal system design. You're creating temporal systems to drive the outcome you're wanting. Precision should always beat volume. You don't want a lot of polished nonsense. You want precision. Constraints create quality. This is very important. Constraint context helps you with quality. Setup compounds results quality. Okay, so let me now go to ChatGPT and try to, with ChatGPT, where did I put it? Here. So when you're setting up ChatGPT, if you go here at the left bottom corner, you see where my name there. If you this is a plus, it may not show the same if you are having the free one. I haven't I have the paid one forever, so it may be a little bit different, but generally should be the same. Okay, so if you click on them and go to the button called setting, okay, so you have to go through all these pieces. Under each tab on the left, there are so many things you want to work on. Okay, this is how the appearance of ChatGPT. It may be tagged. For me, it's on default. This one is the color you want, you prefer. I don't even think about it. The default, this language is auto. It mostly depends when you're getting in, you can define exactly what you want. But if you want to change languages, there are only a few here. There are not many, which I mean, I saw Swahili and for African languages, rather, I saw Swahili and another one, I forgot what it was, which is African. So you can always choose, but most of us are going to be using English, and it automatically, when you are registering, it defines what you want. It will dictate it here. It auto detect. You leave it as it is. Don't change it. So that, I mean, if you're going to be using other languages, voices. If you're going to be using this voice here at the corner, and it's responding to you, you can test which voice you want. These are different voices that ChatGPT puts. Separate voice, it keeps if you highlight this, it will create a different kind of window for you. I haven't really liked it myself, so I keep this as it is. Show additional model. Show additional model. Let me show you how. If I do this at the moment, I only have these 3 models. But if I come here and go down and change models, and then I come back, and you see you get all these models. And they tell you instant results, thinking mini, and all these. Some are for speed, some are for different aspects. So you can always choose. At the moment, for me, I'm only using I only use the current, the latest. Okay. Notification I don't think we have got a lot of time. Let me go to personalization. Most of these things, it tells you what you can do, calm and more neutral on this one. These are not very important, but what's important for setup is this part, where you are, that's where you are defining all those prompts, setups I was talking about. You want to tell ChatGPT, in all my my charts, I want you to default to this raw. I want to generally my expectations. We go back to the chart, you see all those. You can put there are system or your chart level prompt for accurate to say, under this prompt, do this anywhere from now on, operate, think like this. And there are custom instructions you give it at this level. For example, I'm an accountant, I do this, and this is my role, and generally I expect my general prompts to be answered in this way. Generic, don't give it specific, otherwise it becomes difficult. But you want to give it that scenario. But generally, ChatGPT, as you continue to ask questions, it figures you out. You don't want it to be doing that about you. You want it to, you want to force it to know who you are than itself to come and figure you who is Godfrey and what is he really doing. It will use your historical charts and what you've been interested in to figure you and to start giving you expectation. Okay? You can talk about yourself, your nickname, occupation, more about you, your interests, your values. Yeah. Memory, you want it to save whatever you discuss in ChatGPT, it will remember. And reference chat history, it can come in and remember what has happened before. Okay. All these things. Advanced. For me, I've checked most of these things, although I don't use them. But at the moment, I think the key is really these things about you. Okay. So for applications, they are basically connectors to other applications. You can connect ChatGPT to your Google Drive, your Google email, your all sorts of application you're already using. So if you, like in this case, GitHub is just one of them, but if you go here, oh, this one is too better. So if you go rather here, and there are many applications which you can connect to here. What did I do? What happened? So these are all available applications which you can set up and connect to ChatGPT. It can start picking up your Photoshop, I mean, Apple Music, Canva. You can get Canva straight, Figma, Lovable, Replete, and all that. But that comes in when you get into our apps. Okay. One thing I want to go to is security. Most of us don't really set up our authenticator. Make sure you set up your authenticator here, and make sure no one is getting access to your data. Okay. This is the key thing. You can use pass keys and all this other thing for security. You can add all those authenticator and all. Parental control, you can also control what your young members of the family are accessing, because now these kids can use ChatGPT and what have you to do their homework and to learn things. You want to limit how much, what they can do and all these things, and you add them. If you add the family member here, you just put the email they are using to access ChatGPT, and you say it's a parent, it's a child. Meaning each time they are doing things which are not, you'll be notified. Okay, what else did I? Data control. This is one of the things I really want us to take. When you allow improve the model for everyone, it means ChatGPT is using your data, your information to train their model. So for me, I would encourage everyone to turn off, improve the model for everyone, so that your data is not being used to train the model. And when they say train the model, they are getting your data. And as much as possible, minimize giving anybody about your information. However trustworthy they claim, obviously they give you all these crazy terms that you can't even read when they're talking about doing this. The terms of reference, or the terms they tell us, and at the end of the day, they are sold. I mean, in the past few months, I've read letters coming into the house to say, "Oh, your data was we breached someone breached some company and they got your data, but I never gave them my data. I mean, I don't even know the company." So someone somewhere is selling your data. So try to minimize what you share with AI. That's why we need that course on cybersecurity for everyone. Don't share a lot of unnecessary data online, because when you put it on there, it's there forever. You will never lose it. I mean, people can get it. Even if you delete it from your phone, whatever, somebody saved it one way or the other. Okay, we are kind of 5 minutes past our time. If there are any question, I'll give it 2 seconds for 2 minutes for question. Any question? Okay, so we'll meet next week. Next week, we will mostly be talking about, if you look in our roadmap. I'm trying to get the power, So in our roadmap, we'll be doing AI writing, foundational AI writing, and partly daily tasks we can be doing. So next week will be AI writing and daily tasking. Okay. Thank you for joining, everyone. We'll meet again next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Merci
Okay.
beaucoup.
Thank you so much.